Is being an entrepreneur worth it? I'm Jay Feldman. I'm now the founder of a 7-figure PR agency, and like most entrepreneurs, I have been through a lot to get where I am today. There's a lot of misconceptions, especially with social media now, and people looking at all of these entrepreneurs flashing their fancy cars and their private jets, and that is just not the reality of entrepreneurship. So if you stick through to the end and follow me, hopefully you'll be able to make an informed decision on whether entrepreneurship is right for you. So it's really not cut out for everybody, and hopefully this video might save you a lot of hardship along the way. So a little bit about me and my entrepreneurial journey. When I first started, I was actually pre-med, and I actually finished medical school, went through the whole process, and didn't realize that I was going to be an entrepreneur until that gap year after I graduated college, when I had a lot of free time and started writing personal statements for people to make a couple bucks on the side. Turned that into a real business. Went out every morning, 6 a.m., put business cards on people's cars. Didn't have a website, just people like texting me for personal statements. And that was really my foot in the door. And it was that initial entrepreneurial drive that nobody taught me. I had no business education. I do think it's part DNA, and if you watch Gary Vee, he'll say it's entrepreneurial DNA. A lot of it can be taught, but a lot of it can't. So that's really important to know, and self-awareness is really important to know. If you feel like you have it, if you're the kid selling lemonade stands and delivering newspapers and having those entrepreneurial traits from a young age, your friends will know, your family will know. So if you just think entrepreneurship is cool, but you don't have that other part, you're probably not going to succeed, because it's a long, rocky road, and it's like a roller coaster. They say, and this isn't just they say, this is a real statistic, 50% of businesses fail in their first year, and then 90% of businesses fail in their first 5 years. And I can completely attest to that. And if you talk to any successful entrepreneur, you'll see that they've been through 5, 6, 7 businesses before they actually became successful with a venture that worked. And that's because you learn a lot and you fail a lot as an entrepreneur. The marketplace changes every day, and there's a lot of skills involved to actually build a sustainable company that's going to continue to run and grow on its own without your intervention. So, should you be an entrepreneur? A couple of things to really deeply consider. First, and a lot of people are going to hate that I'm saying this, but your age and your social situation. The first several years, sometimes up to 10 years of being an entrepreneur, are not a fun, financially stable position to be in. You're fighting for every dollar. You're fighting way more hours than your counterparts in corporate are going to be fighting. And it's an emotional roller coaster. So if you're not emotionally stable, you're going to collapse and you're going to fail. And if you're not socially and financially stable, you're not going to be able to keep your business alive long enough to learn the skills necessary to make it sustainable. So if you have 3 kids and a giant mortgage, now might not be the time to quit your job and go into entrepreneurship. However, if you feel like you've got the drive and you're just graduating high school or college, and you want to try your hand and live at home for a while or live with your friends, now's the time, go for it, and start failing and learning these skills, because your first venture is not going to be successful, and I'd highly recommend not taking a bunch of startup money or starting an app as your first business, because there's so many skills involved. So we talk about the negatives and the scary parts about being an entrepreneur, but at the same time, there's also nothing more rewarding once you get it right and you're able to figure out how to actually do it. It's a lonely road along the way, because all the people that you knew and your friends are probably in corporate, they probably have jobs, they probably have a stable location and a stable social situation, they're free on the weekends, and you're not. That's not you. If you can find somebody to do business with and find an entrepreneurial crew to keep you going, that's going to be super important for your success. So the great part about being an entrepreneur, if you're able to weather the storm and figure it out and learn all the skills, learn to market, learn to sell, learn to innovate, think critically and operate, then there's really nothing better in the entire world, because you get to control your own future. You get to build something that makes money while you sleep, not trading your time for dollars, all of this stuff that you've probably heard and consumed. It's all real once you finally hit that plateau point. But there is so much involved in it. But being able to travel, to innovate, to invest, to teach others what you've learned is some of the most rewarding stuff that you can possibly do with your life. And that's exactly what I want to focus on. To kind of conclude and wrap this up, is being an entrepreneur worth it? I think absolutely, but there's no shame in not being an entrepreneur and in not being able to succeed. If you think that it's for you, I think you should try if your situation calls for it, but don't be afraid to throw in the towel. It's not for everybody, and I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs try and force it for a long time. It's a hard thing to force for a long period of time, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur for life, then you want to get to a point where you don't have to force it anymore. You don't have to put in the 14-hour days, 6 days a week. You want to be able to step back and say, I grew this, it's growing. So again, no shame in grabbing a job at an awesome startup or a corporate company that you actually enjoying your life, getting into a relationship. However, if your entrepreneurial journey is for you, I think you should go for it. I think it's worth every stake of pain that it brings you. I think it's worth the roller coaster. And if you're interested in learning more about entrepreneurship or finding a mentor to help you skip a lot of the steps and the pain along the way, please shoot me a DM, either to my personal page at Dr. J Feldman or to Otter PR. I now run a multi-million-dollar PR agency where we help thought leaders and business owners and small businesses break into the media and grow their business. Something that I've learned along the way to do for myself, and I'm happy to help you do the same. So please reach out. Happy to talk to any one of you, and thank you so much for listening. If you love this video and you want to be an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur, please subscribe, please like, please follow our channel. And if you have anything to say or want to connect with us, drop it in the comments. I would love to see what you pulled out of this, and I'll respond to all of the comments personally. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.